This is Pythium, an extremely aggressive fungus that can get on just about any grass, particularly cool season grasses. This is Scott's Disease EX. It does an excellent job of controlling it. This is Dollar Spot. Scott's Disease EX doesn't control it at all. You will need the BioAdvance product, which has an active ingredient called propicanosol, in order to treat the Dollar Spot. The BioAdvance product doesn't treat the Pythium, nor does the Disease EX treat the Dollar Spot. So you got to know the difference between the two. Product like this, Scott's for seeding. You can actually put it out at seed time for cool season grasses, and it also has a starter fertilizer in it. And it'll control any weeds that will germinate for 30 days after you put it on. These are the types of things that can be helpful if you have unbiased advice, and that's what I'm offering in this video. I'm going to take you through where you can actually take a picture during the season, problems in your yard, and you can have several professionals on a Facebook page tell you what's going on. So you're not buying a fungicide that is not going to control what you have. You're going to be able to know what you can actually do and when you can't do it. And give you another example. Those of you who are sodding bermudagrass, you know there's actually bermudagrass seed that can save you thousands of dollars. Actually put it out. And in my experience, the last 35 years, when you sod something, you're going to have to water just as much as you seed it. So you might as well go ahead and seed it. Those are the types of things that I can help you with your home lawn. And others on the Facebook page can help you as well. Here's a source that you can go to, totally unbiased, completely and totally free, and that is Facebook page, Home Lawn Care Advice. There are several other experts, including myself, on there that can at least give you, at the very least, some guidance and some idea of what's going on with your yard. If you can include when you do a post of your yard, or even if you've had a great deal of success with a particular product, please let us know. I encourage folks that have had a great deal of success to say, hey, this product worked or that product worked. Try this, try that. This will work for me. Really like that. It helps everybody out. Be sure to include the grass species that you have. There's tall fescue, bluegrass, bermuda grass, whatever, or the type of grass you want. Sometimes those are two different things. Give us a general idea. Maybe the state should be sufficient enough of where you live. I don't have to give the town. And that gives us an opportunity to make something specific recommendations or at least some guidance to you of specifically what's going on with your yard. So you won't end up putting something out that is not going to work on a specific problem that you have. Another source is an Amazon storefront. You can go here and take this with your picture on your cell phone. When you go out to Lowe's, you go out to Home Depot, you're on Walmart, or even online looking around. You can look at the products that I have put together on there. I went through Amazon this winter and found products that have worked for me on golf courses, sports fields, and home lawns over the last 35 years. I'm not here to sell you a fertilizer line or a specific product. I'm trying to give everybody some guidance. And so you are being able to do things, or you're doing things to your yard that is specifically deal with the problem that you have and getting the products at a good price. I don't care where you buy them. I just want you to reach the goals of your yard. That is the goal of this video, my channel, the Amazon storefront, and everything else. Let's talk about the Amazon storefront for just a moment. When you click on the link, it'll take you to my Amazon storefront. You can click here to follow if you wish to follow. I happen to update something, it'll notify you. To the far right here, you can click on this. That takes you back to the YouTube channel where you can see the videos that I make on home lawn care. If you want to happen to share it, you can. You can just simply click here and copy the link or share it to your Facebook page or social media. Now, on down in the ideas list, all we have here is we have seed, we have granular fertilizer, pre-emergent herbicide, fertilizer with pre-emergent herbicide. You can see everything there. I also have spreaders, sprayers, fungicides. I have irrigation, sprayers. I have recommendations on sprayers there. I also have an organic ideas list if you want to check that out. There's foliar fertilizers. Here's micronutrients. Now, there's several videos on here, and those are for the Amazon audience about specific products. But if you scroll down through these, I have a few other ideas lists. This one's specifically for bermudagrass for spring
weed control, I have mites, fleas, and ticks, surface feeding insects. Also covers like cutworms, ants, black turfgrass and tinnias, bermudagrass mites, which was really bad last year, spittlebug, weevils, etc., so on and so forth. Those are all the surface feeding insects. Let's talk about grub control for a second. I'm going to use the grub control ideas list as an example of what this can help you when you're shopping for particular products. Doesn't matter on Amazon, Home Depot, Lowe's, if you're out there or if you're online somewhere. Grub control is a little tricky, and there are products out there actually on the market. I'll give you an example. Ortho Bug Clear. I actually have this on my ideas list for surface feeding insects. It has the active ingredient bifenthrin in it. The problem with Ortho Bug Clear in grub control, one, they have grub right in the middle of the package. Two, and I will leave a link, Michigan State University did a study on grub control products, particularly those that you find at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. They found that some active ingredients and how they are marketed, bifenthrin being one of them, is not an effective grub control product because when you put it on, it gets tied up at the surface, particularly in thatch layer and organic layers in the soil, and it won't work its way down to actually treat actively feeding grubs. So this is not a good product for grub control. Now let's look at what I have for grub control. Now the Scott's Grub EX and the two Syngenta products you see there have that same active ingredient. So you have options here. You can either go out with a granular, with the Scott's Grub EX. You can go out with the Syngenta product, particularly those of you who have a large area to treat. The Syngenta product in the granular there to the second from the right can actually be a little cheaper to put out if you have a very large turf area. Then if you want to spray it, this is actually the cheapest way to put it out to the far right with the Acelypin product, cheapest way to put it out if you look at cost per area. I have included them on here so you have those options available and you can make your purchasing decision on what is available. Or another example here, the 24-hour BioAdvanced Grub Control. If you were to click on the little pound sign, let's look at that versus the Scott's EX product. Now, the Scott's Grub EX is second there to the right. You can see is safe for kids, dogs, pets. It has the active ingredient chlorotranilipole. Its toxicity is so incredibly low on the pesticide label, it doesn't even have what we call a signal word on it, meaning danger, warning, and caution. I go over this at length in my Grub video. Now, so that is an excellent product that you could put out prior to July 15th. If you see in the Michigan State publication down below, they recommend putting it out sometime in May, and it does give you season-long control. However, as the Michigan State publication says, the BioAdvanced product after July 15th, when you have actively feeding grubs, because of the grub cycle being what it is, there again, I go over this in my grub video, you will need to use the BioAdvanced product after July 15th because you will need to immediately kill the grubs as they're feeding, and it'll give you about 30 days of control.
Let's talk about seed for just a moment. If you take anything from this video, I want you to take this. Seed that you get at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart, or really any other retail store is generally sketchy at best quality. What you need to do whenever you're buying seed,
Grub control,
if you want a quality yard, is you have to get blue tag seed, or also called certified seed. Now, oftentimes you will see the tag certified in Oregon. The reason why it's certified typically in Oregon is that is where the majority of grass seed is grown in the United States. In fact, it probably distributed around the world. It's an excellent location to grow grass and harvest the seed from it. They ensure genetic purity. They actually go through and they inspect the field that it comes from. Then they test the seed for its germination rate. When you see a seed tag, and I go over this in selection video on my grass species of what's best for your yard and your area, they test the germination rate. They ensure genetic quality, so you're not getting poor quality seed. Now, I get many comments online, particularly for you guys up north with cool season grasses, about the struggle with Poa Trivialis that you have. And it is, for those of you who are familiar with it, extremely difficult to control. I believe Penn State, pardon me, yes, it's a Penn State article down below on Poa Trivialis and where the origins of it come from. So you not think it's me just trying to sell you something. This is a science-based channel, stone cold. You can see in there where a lot of Poa Trivialis comes from, is from seed that the genetic purity is not tested at the level of certified seed. So there again, don't give a hoot where you buy your products. I want you to get the best product. So let's talk about my seed list for just a moment.
To the right, you'll see my seed ideas list. And if you click on that, you'll see there to the left the Barnberg HGT turfgrass technology. That is actually a bluegrass that came out within the last year. It is currently being grown on City Field, and in my video, Golf Course Grass for Home Lawns, we actually go over, they had sodded this on a Palmer golf course, actually one of my final golf course construction projects, and it is a very high quality bluegrass. Now, there you have two Twin Cities seed products, a perennial ryegrass and a tall fescue. Twin Cities seed grows or offers blue tag seed only. Very high quality seed vendor. Also included the Scott's for seeding product, and granted that is a herbicide with a starter fertilizer, but I included that on this list so that way it's convenient for you to see it. On the far right there, you'll see Monaco bermudagrass. As I talked about earlier, many people do not know that you can actually seed bermudagrass, and Monaco gives you similar quality, according to the National Turfgrass Evaluation Program, as many of the vegetative types, like Tahoma 31 or even 419 Bermuda grass. This is what I had when I had the golf courses in North Carolina. So that gives you a great option. Another option for you in the low upper transition zone is I have it on this list, is a Yukon Bermuda grass. That's actually what I have in my front yard, and I live in West Virginia. So we have some pretty demanding winters here, and it actually does a very good job. It is an extremely low maintenance grass for the upper transition zone.
So you may be asking yourself, why is this guy offering all this information and doesn't care where you buy anything? And there are a lot of YouTubers that have their own product line that are pushing it during a YouTube video, informing you of their products. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I actually was in sales for a couple of years selling products, and it wasn't my forte because I don't like to push things that people don't want. So that's why I got out of it. Two, I want you to be able to reach your goals of your yard without spending money that you don't need to spend, or spending time that you could spend with your family or doing other things more enjoyable, and of course, reach the goals of your yard. Then there was the third reason, which kind of goes hand in hand with the other two. Golf Course Management, the official publication of the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America, in 1997 published an article about Dr. Cohen. In that, they did an extensive study on offsite impacts, groundwater and surface water, pesticides and nitrates and fertilizers off of golf courses, and compared them from site to site on various locations. They had found that the environmental impacts, because the golf courses were under a modest amount of environmental pressure in the 90s for pesticide and offsite impacts, they had found that actually it was rather minimal from golf courses. Now, this is not to point a finger at all, but there again goes into the marketing element of some of these. But they did find that pesticide products that are not labeled for golf course use, and there's a number of them that are labeled for homeowner use, are actually ending up in surface and groundwater. So it is fairly conclusive. One of the contributors is not the golf courses, but it is home lawn care use. And there again, this goes in with spending money or wasting time or using products you really don't need. And I know at 55 years old that life is hard. And if I can make things easier on someone and help them reach the goals of their yard and make them feel better, maybe looking at something they've done and it works out pretty good and they feel better about themselves and make them happy, that's a good thing. Pay it forward, if they say. So that's what I really like about this channel. I like the exchange of ideas and being able to help people. And that really is, the end of the day, my ultimate want in this entire video internet process that now I have apparently started. So anyway, please like, share, and subscribe. Check out my I think almost in the neighborhood of 200 videos. I've been at this 2 years this July, and we're going to keep on growing and growing. So I'm agronomist Greg Phillips, and remember one thing, it's not that complicated.